Hey everybody, this is Kathy with Lengthier Rustics. Today I'm going to show you how to do the fabric rag tree Christmas kits. They're the wood kits. I cut these out myself. So right up front, I'm going to let you know that these are on my site, on my Etsy site. So you can go out to my, I'll put the link actually down in the comments, but also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description so you can go out there and get you a kit. These are really fun. They're a lot easier than you might think they are. So what I'm going to do is when you do get this kit, there are sets of instructions. So I make it pretty easy, but I'm making this tutorial as well so you can refer back to it if you want to watch it through as well. So I'm going to set these instructions aside because what I'm going to be stepping through here is also in this document that you would receive when you get your kit, okay? So if you, when you just get the wood kit only, this is what you're going to receive. You're going to receive the template, okay? And there are two wood pieces here. This is the bottom piece, and this is going to be glued right over the top piece here. I put some fun little embellishments in there as well. You can do a tree star here, just like I did on this one, as you can see. I posted this one. This one was very popular, so you can do this. I've also included a little button to where you could put, you know, a little button with your star, or a little snowflake here as well. You can put that at the bottom. I thought that might be kind of cute to put that at the bottom of the tree. And you're also going to get some of this rusty wire. So up here you'll see this cute little rusty wire that will, you'll also get this in whether you order just the wood kit only, that I'll throw in some of this little rusty wire. So let's get started. So what you're going to need if you did not get the kit with the fabric, and I only had a limited number of those, so likely if you are watching this you may not have the fabric pieces, but what you're going to need is at least 24. And in the directions I will show you that I've put a description here of kind of how many you'll need of each one. So what you're going to want to do, probably even before you start this project, is find you some fun fabrics. So today what I'll be using is, I picked some out that kind of randomly from my stash here. So, but what you're going to do is when you find those, these are about 2.5 inches wide. And I do use the thicker fabric, but, you know, like wider fabric, because I think I like the look that the wider fabric gives. So just like in this tree, you're going to have a wider fabric look. You can make them smaller if you want to, maybe a little bit narrower. I've seen trees like that as well. So if you wanted to do like 1.5 inches, you could do that. But this tree is made with 2.5 inches by at least 11 or 12 inches in length. It depends on what your length is. The kits do come, if you got the fabric kits as well, they do come in 11 inch. A lot of trees might be only a 10 inch. I did an 11 inch here, so kind of in between. So you'll see that it's 2.5 inches by 11 inches. And so that's what I've cut my fabric out to. So you'll need kind of a mix. I did like a 5 of assorted fabrics. So you can see I've done the green check. I did kind of a red and green and beige, or kind of linen check. I did a green and gold because I'm going to paint my star gold. So I want to tie that in, a little bit of beige, green, and gold. And then I did just another beige, green, and red. And I like to mix, you know, some patterns in there as well. So, and then here I just have I did do one green check, and then I did do one kind of red check. So kind of change it up a little bit. And then kind of the star of the show, I guess, is you'll want to cut out some strips. These are actually not as wide, so you can do 1 to 1.25 inch strips here. So I've placed them kind of as like little accent pieces throughout my tree. So you can see that I've used, I believe, 9 on this tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe only 8, but I know I included 9 in the kit. So you'll want to go ahead and probably make you at least 9 strips. So these were hand cut, so these aren't perfect, but you can see that I did those also about 1 to 1.25 inches by 11 inches. So now that I have my strips, what I'm going to do is kind of set those aside because I want to paint my kit first. So I'm going to cut my strips, or you can just paint first and then cut your strips. It's up to you, but I already have these pre-done. So I'm going to put this little ruler away. But the paints I used black. I think it's pure black. I like to use folk art paint. That's just a preference of mine. Probably used folk art for years and years. That's probably, I really like their color palette. So I used burnt umber, used linen by folk art, and I used, this is an olive green. I really like this color green. I know in other paint colors you can use like an evergreen. So, I mean, you can use whatever colors you want, but this is what I used for that tree back there that I showed you. And then here is, like, I believe it's called Starlight Gold. So I like this gold because it's not too yellow, it's more of a gold. And I like the primitive kind of folk artsy look, so I like that gold. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to do my whole back in just a brown. So it's gonna do the burnt umber, and I'm gonna do the whole back of it, and then I'm gonna do the trunk of it. And what I'm gonna do is, you can use a baby wipe, a makeup wipe. If you don't have those on hand, even just kind of a moist paper towel. I've done that before if I'm in a pinch, so that's an option as well. It doesn't actually have to be a baby wipe. But I'm gonna take that, and all you do is basically take some of your paint, okay? And you're just gonna rub it all over the tree. So this is the back of my project, and it's gonna kind of look like stain. So if you would rather stain it, that's great. One thing with these kits that are nice is it has kind of a nice dark look on the edges, so I don't have to worry about the edges. So that's nice. But we're just gonna cover the entire back of the project. So if you want to, if you don't want to get your hands messy, you can wear some gloves. I think when you're crafting, if your hands don't get messy, that's just part of it, right, guys? So let's go ahead, and you can see it goes on fairly quickly, fairly fast, and it gives it just a kind of a nice stained look. So if you don't like that look, what you could do is take like just a sponge brush or a makeup sponge and just sponge on the brown paint. Just depends on what you like. So, you know, get creative with these. You don't have to use my paint colors, but if y'all know me, I kind of like the rusty look and the aged look. So this is what I decided I was going to use. So let's get through this real quick as I'm going through here. So why I'm doing the back is just for my own sake. So if I have this displayed, and you know, it's kind of showing maybe a little bit on the back, that way it's kind of more of a finished product. You don't have to do the back if you don't want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and then do the trunk of the tree, kind of the brown. So you can see, you guys, I get messy. So I'm just gonna take that to there. Like I said, don't worry about the sides. And So it's going to give it kind of a finished look here and then back here. Next, we're going to take that same baby wipe, just find a different area. And I'm going to take the olive green, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do on the front side where the tree is. So if my fabric isn't covering the area, then it's just kind of one of those where it's not showing. So, you know, you'll see the green instead of my paint. I mean, instead of just the wood. So I am going to cover that a little bit heavier because I want it to look a little deeper. And I'm going to show you how to kind of get that deeper look here in a minute. We're going to do this with green, but then what we're going to do here in a little bit is go over it with a little bit of the brown as well, just to kind of give it a little bit of an aged look. So this is where, you know, if you wanted a thicker coat, would be good to use your sponge brush. But if you opt to use maybe narrower fabric or something, your tree base might show, okay? So I got that, and I'm not gonna need to really paint this piece because you guys, I'm just gonna actually just be gluing right over it. So I'm just gonna set that piece aside. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna take my linen paint, and I'm just going to use a little makeup sponge here. And what I like about this is that it has, I don't know if you guys see it, but it looks like a little wood piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I want it to keep and put it on the end of my sponge. And as I'm doing that, I kind of want those to stay showing. So I just basically am tinting this wood, okay? Because I want to, you know, you've seen the wood rounds like you can get them at Hobby Lobby, you can get them on Amazon and whatnot. But what we're doing is we're kind of trying to replicate that look a little bit. So of course the inside is going to be, like this part's going to be the lighter color, and then here in a minute we're going to go and do the edges. So do that. Nice. So you can see, if I show you this finished one, kind of what we're aiming for is, see how I did that? I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got like lighter here. Now we're gonna go over it here in a little bit with some brown. I can show you how to do that. And we're gonna go over the whole thing with brown because I want it to look aged. So I'm gonna set that aside, and then what we're gonna do here is the star and the Starlight Gold, and kind of the same thing with the makeup wipe. If you can find an area that hasn't been used, or get you a new one, or baby wipe, just put that color on there. Or you can use the makeup sponge and water it down if you want more of a transparent look. Which mine, I'm getting ready to use the sandpaper, so it's gonna look a little transparent here in a minute. So this is kind of what it looks like now, okay? And you're probably thinking, wow, that's really green. Well, I'm thinking that too, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute that down. Also the star, and we're gonna make this a little more transparent. So what I'm gonna do is take my little mini sander, and we're gonna get after it for a minute here. use that wet paper towel, or you can just really get like a sponge brush wet, and then take some of this, put some burnt umber in there, and you can take some water, dab your water in there, and just make it very, or you can take a water bottle here and just really water down your paint, and you can just go over the project very quickly. Then either take your wet paper towel or your baby wipe, use that baby wipe from her, and just kind of go over it. So you can see how it's kind of darkened that up a little bit. And we're gonna just leave some of that paint on there. So I like that look a lot better. Just kind of go over the bottom again quick. All right. So that is about ready. And then what we're gonna do this is just go over this whole thing here. See how that kind of just makes that a little bit darker and more woodsy looking, I guess. Is that a word? Woodsy, I guess it is. So that's looking cute. And then your star. See how that's making that look, and just barely go over it because you want it to kind of look a little rustic, right? See? So we're going to put these aside, and we're going to let them dry a little bit. I still need to put some paint here. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to show you the fabric parts first, and then we're going to come back to this, okay? So get your area kind of ready. And I wanted to show you this kind of called the slip knotting technique. And in the instructions, I've kind of laid it out here. So if you're like, what did she say? Kind of refer to the pictures that I put on my instructions if you buy a kit, okay? So this aside. All right, so with this one, just kind of wanted you guys need to think about kind of your design of the project, right? So you don't want all your reds clumped together, you don't want all your greens clumped together, you kind of want to make a pattern. So what I did here, as you can see, I did green, and then I did one of those accent greens, and then I did kind of a multi, and then a red, and a green, and this green. So I kind of, like, you can see, kind of working out, did green, green, green. So 3 greens on the bottom, 2 of the reds, and then some multis. So in the instructions, you'll find that on this bottom piece, we're gonna do 5 pieces on each side. So when I say side, I mean these right here, okay? So what you'll do is you'll place your template away from you, okay? So your trunk's gonna be on that end, okay? I'm gonna start with green, right? And since these are wider pieces, I'm going to fold mine in half, all right? So then I'm gonna fold it in half and in half again. So you're gonna line up kind of your little pieces here, and then you're going to take this end here where your loop would be, and you're going to feed it through this, just like this. You see it? So you're gonna have your ends up here, this here. Now, this is where it gets tricky, is you're gonna have to push that through. You're gonna have to slip knot it, okay? So you're gonna push that fabric through, and that's why you're wanting, you know, to kind of put it in half, and you're gonna have to be, this is gonna take some time and some patience, guys, but don't get frustrated because it's gonna start coming, you're gonna get better at it as you go, and you know, there's a lot of us that we want instant gratification. Well, this is kind of a little process, but that's okay. So you can see that's what it's going to look like, okay? So, and you can see, wow, that's kind of wide. You're going to scooch that over as far as you can, okay? So do some scooching. And then you're going to kind of, you won't really fluff it quite yet, but we're going to keep adding our strips, okay? So let's see, what do I want now? I want one of these green strips. So I'm going to do this green, and I'm going to do this green, right? We're going to slip knot it through, or put it through, feed it through, right? And you're going to put it back through, see? And then you're going to pull on it. And you're going to be careful when you're doing that, because number one, you don't want to break your template. Number two, you know, we just want to be gentle with it. So, so there's your next piece, right? So scooch it over as far as you can, because you're going to start running out of room. And then you're going to be like, how are these going to all fit? And they will. They will, I promise. So then I want a piece of this. So I'm going to do fold in half, fold in half. So I'm going to go through kind of this first row with you, and then I'll probably speed this video up just a little bit so you don't have to watch me do this, because it does take a little bit of time. But remember, just feed it through, right? And then take your time here, and you're just gonna pull and slip knot it through. So you're gonna, now, I'm gonna talk to you about, like, okay, let's say that, Kathy, I have arthritis in my hands, or, you know, I'm real, I don't know, there's different reasons why maybe you can't do the slip knotting, or maybe you just get frustrated. I don't know. We all do when we do crafts sometimes. So you can see how it's starting to look. Isn't that cute? Well, what you could do, because the back is not going to show, and see, the back is going to be like slip knotted like this, okay? What you could do is, I did some experimenting, and you could go ahead and fold your fabric and put it this way. But what you may want to do is just if you can get it slid through there, you may just want to tie it. That's one option. I just want to tie it. You can just tie it, okay? Or let's just say I really can't tie either. What you could do is just poke your fabric in here and just take glue and glue from behind, like some hot glue. This would be a hot glue situation. So if you're getting frustrated, you could just hot glue the folded pieces in half, or you could scrunch them. If you don't want to fold them, you can just go ahead and push them through here. You see what I did? Just push it through, scrunch it, and and just, might look a little messy on the back, but that's okay. And you could just hot glue it. You know, it's up to you. I think either the tie method or the slip knot method works the best, but I understand that, you know, actually this may work just fine as well. And on the top especially, you might find that this works a little bit better if you do actually glue the back. And so I did that kind of back here. I just, on my tree, I didn't finish the back of this one, but you can see when I got up to the top, what I did was I just cut my pieces down. So I used fewer, and I can show you what I did when I get to the end here. But I just pushed them through and I glued the end because I liked how my star laid better. So there's gonna be some different options there if you get frustrated with the slip knotting, okay? So you could hot glue them in place like this. They just look a little different, but that's okay. What you could do is actually put one side through one end, one side through the other, like this. Do you see this? Scooch it over and just glue it in place. It's gonna give different, you may have to do a lot of like trimming of your tree, but that's okay. So, but I'm gonna show you the slip knot method, but I just wanted to let you know that there are some other alternatives. So what I'm gonna do here is go ahead and fold in half. I'll do one more for you, and then I'm gonna speed it up kind of till I get to the very end, okay? So, remember we're away. Please push it through, bring it through the other side. You know, you may have come up with your own way of doing this, and that's okay, because that's what creativity is about, right? So is getting creative with it. It's kind of nice to have this little template so you kind of keep everything on track. So see how that's looking? It's looking really cute, isn't it? So 5 and 5, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I've got 4, right? So what I did was I added, so I added that. So I'm gonna do a green here in the middle. And I'm just gonna keep going. So I won't talk during this part, you guys just watch. 5 on each side, 5 on each side. It's gonna get narrower as you go up, so of course you can't do 5, right? Mine on this one, I chose not to repeat the pattern. I just kind of want just to make it more kind of symmetrical, but a little off. So I'm going to add in now, I've got this different pattern. Put that in here. This is where I'm going to kind of slow it down just a hair, because what I'm going to do is, see how I did here? I'm going to do something similar. I want these two on the ends. I want these two in the middle, or the next. So, get something pointy. Get your paintbrush or whatnot. Poke it through. See that? So poke it through. See what I did? Just take this piece and I poked it through. Okay. And then I took this next piece and I poked it through. Just making, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little space there. Poked it through. And then pulled it here. You can see there's excess back here, right? And then the last one, I did it like this, kind of made it to where both of the corduroy sides are showing, and I poked it through. So as you see, I did here, I just cut. Okay. Then you could slip knot it if you want to, and when you do slip knot it, it would just go over the top of the project. So it's up to you, but I was just going to show you how I did this one in my example. So you can slip knot and it'll be just 3, but it'll cover the top of your wood if you slip knot. Okay, I didn't want the top of my wood covered. So here what I'm going to do, just take my glue gun and I'm just going to add just a little bit of glue just to secure these in place. Not a lot. It won't take a lot, but it will take a little bit. So put this on and just be real careful if you have just going around the corners and in the middle here a little bit, and just making sure that that's all glued together. I think what I will do, just to make it look pretty, is I'm just going to add a little fabric piece. That way I can hold it down. There, that way those ends aren't really showing. Okay, so that's what it looks like. All right. So cute. So now let's add our star. And basically you'll get some little wire here. a little rusty wire. And what I did was I went ahead and poked, you can go ahead and finish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the back of the star because I want to make it finish looking to that burnt umber. And think about that, you can do the whole thing gold. But I'm going to go ahead and do the back of it burnt umber. So it matches the back of the project. And if you guys wanted to make it more rustic looking, I do use Distress ink quite a bit. This is the walnut stain. And you can get this at Amazon or at Hobby Lobby. And what I'll do is I'll just show you. So here's what it looked like before, and then you can see where I've added a little bit more distress around the edges. You could also dry brush or use a foam brush or anything and just distress those edges with the burnt umber some more too, if you don't have the distress ink. So I just like how it looks. So you don't have to get fancy here. I'm just gonna pull one in through. I'm gonna use the end of a paintbrush and I'm going to curl those a little bit. You could, I did add a little button here. You could make the button in a whole different color if you have some, you'll match it with your burgundies or your reds on your fabrics. You could really have fun with it, or a green, and you could go ahead and thread it through here, make it look rusty as well. So we will go ahead. I did put enough wire in to where you guys probably have a little extra, so you can just cut off a piece. To secure mine, I used that same hole as I put my fabric in earlier. So if basically what you'll do is push your wire through here just to secure that, and then just brought it over the top. You could actually glue it in place too. I didn't do that, but that's an option. So then you'll just take that wire and put it right back through your star if you can. I don't know why I was struggling with that, but right, put that through the star, and then there you go. You can go ahead and add a bit of glue on here to kind of secure it into place. I'm not going to do that right at this moment because I'm going to fluff all my fabric. So you can see I'm a little top heavy on my fabric right now because I just the way the placement is. You can always take a little dab of glue of something sticking up a little bit and, you know, make that secure down. I'm going to go ahead and secure that star in place a little bit. So and now, so that your tree is pretty much done, we're going to fluff it out there at the very end here, but I want to go ahead and show you the base piece real quick. So if you wanted to use the stick fast glue, and you're going to really make sure that these are lined up, but go ahead and apply that Hot glue doesn't work very good on this kind of stuff, guys. You could probably use the E6000 or some super glue, but make sure that it's very lined up, because you want that hole to line up here too. So when you put the base on, this does dry very quickly, so you want to work very fast when you do that. But I'm going to go ahead and glue those together, and it's just, I added another piece in there just to make it more stable. Okay, the base is stable. So now I'm going to take that paintbrush that I had, and I'm going to take a little bit of black paint, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the brown paint. And we're going to just go around the edges, and there's going to be a line. You're going to just follow the outer line for your bark. And you can do it in brown and then maybe float some. It's up to you, however you want to do the bark, kind of make it a brown black. Okay, because what I'm going to do here in just a little bit is we're going to do black. And then I'm going to, you don't need to do the sides. Just follow along the edge here. Right. And when we're done with that, we're going to make sure, put my glasses on, make sure I got it lined up real nice. So it's going to look something like that, okay? Make sure that it's really dry. Okay, now we're going to take our sander and we're going to sand the edges. I'm going to soften that black up a little bit. Now we're going to do one of two things. We're going to go ahead and use that brown paint and go over there like we did earlier to kind of make it look rustic. Like this. You can also use some distress ink on the end, the edges, or over the top of it. It's up to you. to make it look aged looking. If you want to, you can add a little bit. So then you're going to add your base. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go ahead and add a little distressing just add a little distress to my wood here. Is I'm going to fluff my tree. So we kind of had it slip knotted before. You just want to, kind of like this tree, just fluff it out, guys. So depending on how you did it, if you did the slip knot method or if you did just the tying, basically what you want to do is just kind of look at it, see how you want to do it. You may want to glue some of your pieces down, like at the very top. So I want mine kind of a little bit narrow at the top. So I'm just going to glue some of that fabric down. So it's not sticking out. If you need to trim some pieces up, you can do that at this time too. But maybe, you know, basically what you're doing here is you're making it as fluffy as you want. When you were cutting your fabric earlier, I was talking about how you could make thinner strips if you wanted to. So, and basically you do what you like. That's so cute. There's, with this fabric, it's very, the way it's been cut, it basically does have some strings on it, so you might want to clean that up just a little bit. So I like the frayed edges of fabric, so you may want to fray your edges more. Do that. You could, if you wanted these longer, when you do, you can make, these are 11-inch, but you could do 12-inch, you could do 13-inch strips. If you want it like really long and shaggy, you could do them various sizes just to really change them up. So, so stinking cute though. I love these little trees. I have a whole forest of them. All different kinds and shapes and lengths, sizes. So yeah, so just fluff it up, have some fun with it. Here you go, guys. Isn't that cute? All right, so next, last step. Last step is basically, you know, figure out where you want, if you want this to be your front or that to be your front. You're going to glue it in place. So you're going to put your glue along here and here. And like I said, this works pretty fast. So what you're going to do is basically get it in there, make sure that it is level. Make sure that it's up and down. There y'all guys. So cute. And just shape the way you want it. Love it. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any problems or any questions, thanks for watching, guys. And make sure that if you would like the kit, what you can do is I'm going to share the link and you can make one of these little cute fabric trees yourself. So just remember, you can slip knot, you can tie knot, you can glue in place. It's up to you. So I kind of showed you all 3 techniques. Do what you want, make it yours, and have fun crafting, y'all. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.